I just got back from Latin Grammy Week in Vegas, and being around so many artists and labels, it really made something obvious. Everybody is releasing music, but almost nobody has enough content to actually promote it. Even the big teams are struggling with it. So today, I want to show you how to fix that using something every artist already has, their lyrics. I'm going to take one song, just the lyrics, and we're going to turn it into over 25 pieces of content, captions, carousels, TikTok ideas, press releases, the full rollout. And if you don't work in music, don't skip this, because seeing a strategy from another industry often sparks ideas that you can use on your own. If this is your first time here in Alphana, just remember in Alphana, we could essentially take any video, audio, or even text content and repurpose that into over 30 pieces of content. And so for today, we're actually not going to repurpose video. We're going to repurpose lyrics. So if you're an artist or you work at a record label or a management firm and something that you already have, right? You've got a set of lyrics from an artist. Let's go ahead and take that and drop that into Alphana so we could take that and automatically turn it into more content for you. And so that's what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do here is click on create. Now, when I click create a project flow, which will allow you to create a new project to be able to generate content from. And so what I'm going to first do is come over here. I have a tab with the lyrics with the artist name and title. And so I'm going to go ahead and copy these lyrics, right? And so now I've got them. Now, if you've got lyrics somewhere else, you could just grab it, copy and paste it. Obviously, make sure they're your own or somebody gave you permission to use them. And so down here, there's a text box. Now, in this text box, what's great is that I can paste the entire set of lyrics, okay? But this also works if you wanted to paste a blog post or if you want to paste a bio about yourself, right? Any amount of text that you need that you want to paste in here to give our AI enough knowledge and enough context about you or the product or your music, you can drop that in here as well. And so now I've added it in there. It's got the artist name, understands the title, the genre, and also the full set of lyrics inside of it. And what we can do here, I've created a template and I'm going to release this inside. Okay, we upgraded what we call the music release template. Here it is. All right. And this music release template will generate things like thumbnail hook ideas, cover arts, Instagram threads, campaign ideas, just a wealth of content that is super useful, especially if you're an artist and you want to put out more content out there or to give you ideas and to draw from inspiration. So I'm going to go ahead and select this template called the Music Release Toolkit. Now, when I click next, I can add some personalization options. So how do I want my tone, the reading level, who's going to be reading this content, the target audience, the language. So I have it very, conversational. We can make it playful if you want. 6th grade reading level. It's a lot more accessible for people to be able to read content or digest content at a lower reading level. My target audience, fans of music. In this case, you could do language is English, and in here you could put like specifics like your brand colors, words to avoid, or any other custom notes that you want our AI to respect about you or your brand or your music. For now, I'm just going to leave that empty and just see what it comes up with. This step actually we could skip. If you had a video, it would ask you what language to translate. I'm just going to go ahead now at the bottom and hit generate. We don't need to do anything else. And so here we go. Now what it's going to do is analyzing my lyrics, right? The lyrics that I dropped into Alphana, here they are, right? I've got all the lyrics in here with timestamps, and now it's generating a whole wealth of assets. Like look here on this left sidebar, right? On the left, you could see I'm generating cover arts, music video storyboards, music release. And if I scroll, look, already content's already generated from this. Like, look how fast this is. It's already generating ideas, Instagram threads, Facebook posts, a Twitter thread, and you could see content being written in real time as it's happening. And then you have other ones that take a little bit longer to generate, like images, carousels, lyric. We extract your lyrics and put them on visuals that you can post for like Instagram and other social media platforms. We even come up with a whole series of marketing campaign ideas, right? Press release, right? If you come out with a new song, draft a press release so you can put it out there, right? And so I'll let this load, but we'll just see how this goes, right? We got a couple in here. We got email campaigns that are being written, so you don't even have to come up with a copy for that. It'll understand your music, and you can drop this into systems like MailChimp or any other marketing software that you use. Over here, if you see what this is generating, it's actually pretty cool. But if you're trying to pitch your music to a DSP, right? And for those of you not in the music industry, a DSP is a digital service provider. Think Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, any of these platforms where people go to consume content like music content. You want to pitch to get your music playlisted on these services. And so in this case, what we're doing is we're pitching the music so that they could feature your music inside of their playlist, right? It could be anything from like, I don't know, the Discover playlist, what's new, new this Friday, any of those types of things, right? All right, check this out. Images generated. Let's see if everything else finished, right? Look at all this content. I got text, images. All right. I think we've got enough so we can start walking through. So what do? We took a set of lyrics for a song called Can I See You Tonight? And this song, we turned it into a wealth of assets. And there's different assets and content that you need in order to promote this, right? And so let's look at a couple things. Number one is came up with a few cover art examples, right? Different styles. And look at this. If you don't have a designer or you're trying to come up with ideas so that you could give it to a designer that you work with, you could generate a couple concepts in here. And so look at this. If I click on this, here's an example of a beautiful artwork that you can use for your track, right? Remember, the song is called Can I See You? And you'll see in here, it talks about the stars aligning. It's a love song. This person wants to see someone. And so you can see how it's represented outdoor with the stars. And look what we do, right? We spent a lot of time on our back end to be able to generate beautiful prompts to describe exactly how these images would get generated. You don't have to come up with these prompts by yourself. This is one of the benefits of using a system like Alphana to be able to help you to create content, is that you don't really need to understand prompt engineering. You could just drop these cards or use our templates and they automatically based on your content. So these prompts are always different every time it generates depending on the type of content you feed it in here. So let's look at the second version, right? Here's another cover art called Can I See You? By the water, him kneeling on his knees. Here's another one. Look at this, right? Climbing up the mountain. You got the lights that show kind of the pathway up. And it says, Can I See You? And then last but not least, they're like indoor. You've got these two figures looking out the window with the stars out there. Let me just read this prompt as an example, right? Create an album cover that captures a quiet spark across the room. An intimate indoor scene at night with a wide window revealing a starry sky. In the foreground, two soft, out-of-focus silhouettes stand at opposite sides of the room, their long shadows stretching toward each other like whispering lines. Through the window, a cluster of stars forms a subtle collision point, hinting at destiny meeting. Use warm indoor light against cool night tones for contrast while keeping the overall mood gentle and hopeful. So I don't know if you guys could see this, skim this down a little bit, but it's even longer, the prompt, right? It's very descriptive as to what this cover art is going to look like. And so that's very, very important. And again, these are concepts. These are ideas so that you could come up with ideas for what you want for your music. All right. So that's an example of cover arts. Let's see what else we generated, okay? Now, when you put out music, typically you want to put out a music video, right? Or create a lyric video. And so sometimes you're just trying to come up with ideas of what the different scenes may look like. And so in here, we have music video storyboarding, so it can come up with a couple ideas for what the different scenes would look like. And so if I click on these, you could see the first couple of scenes, right? It puts 4 per image, right? You got someone walking through a crowd, sees a girl, there she is, close up. This just kind of helps you to kind of get a picture, see, it'll either tell you this is what you want, or it's going to show you things that you don't want, which is always great when working with a director or a friend if somebody's going to shoot with your iPhone or a camera or anything like that. But you can see how it does sketches for each one of these scenes, right? Check this out. So there you go. Now you've got a set of storyboards. You could see, and if you want to tweak them, you can always modify the prompts to come up with better ideas, different concepts, or anything of that nature. All right, so we got our lyrics, we generated some cover art samples, we created a storyboard, but now we just want to come up with some brand boards, right? Some concepts, ideas for color palettes, for images, anything like that. So that's what this one's going to attempt to do, right? This card called the Music Release Brand Boards, if I click on it, it shows you kind of different elements. It shows you a couple images so you can see what it looks like. Look, it shows you what the cover art would look like on a CD. You got the vinyl record. You got some brand colors here at the bottom that you could use as options. So that's one concept. Here's another one, right? So this is showing you what it looks like on billboard designs, right? Here you go on the street, right? It says, Can I See You? you've got that represented here as well. And look how it kept consistent, like the theme of like you got the mountain in the back shot, the clouds, right? In all of these 3 versions. And then again, it gives you a couple brand colors that you could look at. Here's another one showing it in like an intimate night scene. So I selected these images to be square, but probably for this might have been better if I did vertical and you'd be able to see more of the content. And this is just more in the prompt I think we can change because we're some of this is getting cropped off at the bottom. All right. Now what do we got here? Look, more options, more concepts. You could see what a logo would look like if it was put on a bag, t-shirts, right, on a pin. Here's a poster on a wall. So again, it gives you different ideas and concepts that you can play with. And this is with very little fine tuning, right? We didn't put more information about the artist. We didn't put any customization of maybe you already have some brand colors in mind or styles in mind. This was completely derived from the music, right? And so here's the prompt if you ever wanted to change it. You can always click edit on any one of these cards and you have full access to be able to customize what this says. The other one that we have is a carousel called Visual Insights. All right. So if you wanted to post something, let's say on Instagram and you wanted to do a carousel, what this does is it creates some visuals, right? And adds lyrics to them so that they could be used as a swiping carousel on Instagram. And so everything is completely made based on your lyrics. And so in this case, it's saying, I saw your light across the room. Can I see you tonight? Meet me where the stars feel close. I just want to be near you. I'll cross rivers and climb high. I'm on my way to you. Time slows when it's us two. Can I see you at last? And so again, 4 images, all completely tailored towards the music and the lyrics. It adds the lyrics and creates kind of that storyline as one continuous carousel that you could post on like Instagram, on TikTok, or any other place. And then artists, what you do is you actually, when you're uploading and creating this carousel, make sure you add your music to the background, right? You can add music to carousel posts. They don't have to just be images. So what's great is as people are swiping, they're listening to your music in the background. You want people listening more to your music. And this is a way that you could leverage this piece of content to do so. All right. So again, this works great for artists, managers, record labels. You want to come in here, get some content ideas, drop it in here. And again, if you're in another industry, like I mentioned before, it's always great to draw inspiration from different industries. So that's why I'm really excited about this one, especially coming back from Latin Grammy Week in Vegas. So let's keep going. Let's see what else we could do. Yes, so you could do this with a speech or transcript of a lecture as well. Just like how I pasted in here lyrics, you could paste in a transcript, you could paste in your speech if you're going to do a talk or anything like that. It'll create carousels. And again, you know, if you have a soundbite and you wanted to do carousel images inside of Instagram to take advantage of their carousel feature, but then maybe upload audio of a short, 60-second clip or a talk, you could probably accomplish the same thing. So definitely encourage you to do that. All right, so if we keep going, now, what else do we need when we're putting out music, right? And putting out content? Sometimes you just need very simple caption ideas, right? Maybe you have a photo of yourself already as an artist. You've got a whole library of photos, but you just want to drop the photo, add the music behind it, and maybe you need a caption idea based on your lyrics. So what we're doing here is we're giving you a couple of those ideas that work more for TikTok. So let's look at a couple of these, right? Can I see you tonight under moonlight skies? Where stars collide, meet me there. Your smile lingers, my heartbeat races to you. Time stands still when it's us two alone. Down on my knees asking, can I see you? These are all individual snippets that we're extracting from the lyrics that are beautiful lines that you could post on TikTok as an example. But maybe you're now like, this is your first time that you're going to put the music out there and you want to come up with a new release caption, right? And you want to weave in the concept behind your music as well as the caption alone. So I'm going to go ahead and read this one out loud so you guys can see what this looks like, right? Can I play this on loop in your heart tonight? New single out now. Lately, I've been thinking about that first spark. When you catch someone's eye and time freezes. This song was born from that moment. The line that kept chasing me when can I see you where the stars collide? And I had to turn it into a story. I know I'm not the only one who stayed up wondering if that person feels it too. That late night hope? We've all been there. What's your stars collide memory? Tag the person you'd meet under this night sky or drop a comment if you feel this. Double tap if you're listening right now. And it puts the necessary hashtags in here, right? It's a pop ballad, it's new music, it's a love song, it's called Can I See You? Like, it weaves in concepts of the song into the caption of the post, adds a personalization layer of how this song was born. And now you could drop this with the audio in the background or short video and put that onto TikTok as a caption. And so these are all ways that you could use to help promote your music and promote your content by weaving in these concepts, right? I know a lot of people who jump in here, we typically throw in stuff like podcasts, interviews, webinars, talks, anything like that. But this works beautifully even with music and lyrics if you come up with that content or you help to promote that content for clients. Now, the same thing as a TikTok release, we do the same for Instagram. Okay, very similar, but written slightly differently, but it tries to weave in similar moments. So we don't have to read this one. We'll just keep going. The other one is Instagram Threads. Okay, right? Instagram has their Threads app, which is their like X and Twitter competitor. And yes, it's primarily text content, but there's an entire audience of music lovers on that platform. And so why not generate a short thread or post that you can post on Instagram with a hook, right? Like The Stars Are Colliding Tonight. My new single, Can I See You, is out now. Drop that into that platform. Makes it very easy. Might as well go ahead and repurpose right in there. Same for Facebook. Facebook's not dead, actually very much alive. Go ahead and drop your music on there. Here's a simple post that you can use to promote your music. Then we've got a Twitter thread broken down by numbers. So you can generate, what is this, a 10 tweet thread. Here you go. And it drops everything here, breaks it out for you. So you can go ahead and drop that into X. More images, okay? Now, these are lyric images, okay? And we have multiple styles for lyric images, all right? This is just one of at least, 5 to 10 different styles that you could choose from inside of Alphana. And so if I look at these, right, here's what we got. Look at this, right? Can I see you where stars collide? And look at the background, right? It's got two stars colliding right in the middle with the fonts right there. Boom. Great lyric image that you could drop onto Instagram. Here's another one written into the water, and right? So it's underneath the heavens where we can hide. John, can I see you? Right? With a little tag. And again, we write the prompts for you, right? So we analyze your music, and from there we automatically generate what the prompts are, and then we generate the images, which allows you to be able to take this prompt if you wanted to make small tweaks to it. Here's another one. Climb the mountain high, I'll cross the rivers, right? Look at the concept. Beautiful. And then last but not least, the shadows whisper tales of you and me. So these are lyric image concepts. Again, great for posts, great for content, can put it on a website, can drop it into a carousel post. Now, let's talk a little bit about ideas. Sometimes we're just trying to come up with marketing ideas, campaigns, anything like that. And so in here, we create that. Now, this put it into bullet points. I'm going to just regenerate and we'll come back to this one. Typically, I like the format to be a little bit different. It'll be easier to digest. Let's see what it comes up with. Sometimes just a quick regenerate will push it to give it another shot and come up with something else. All right, still going with the bullets. Today's doing a little bit differently, but all this I could solve with a little bit of prompt engineering. I'll just make some tweaks to that later. All right, so what do we got? Let's look at the first campaign, okay? For the first campaign, it's called Stars Collide Night Challenge. All right, we're going to ask fans to film 10 to 15 second night sky clips and set it to the hook. Use the hashtags Can I See You Tonight and Stars Collide. Drop a starry lyric sticker with the line Where the Stars Collide. Prizes, stargazing kit, shout out, private acoustic Zoom, right? So this is essentially a potential prize that you can give out for that. And the platform would be TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. So here's one campaign idea. All right, campaign number 2. And apologies for the formatting. This will just be fixed with prompting. This one's called Heartbeat Duet Chain, right? Post a beat made from real heartbeats and claps. Invite fans to duet by adding a clap, snap, or dance move. And then you could use these hashtags, and then a weekly pick gets pinned and added as a fan chain video, right? So this works great for couples and best friends. Awesome. So it's got a couple campaigns. Let's see where the 5th one is. Let's just skip to this one, right? 5th campaign is Cozy Over Contest. Ask fans to sing a cozy cover from a blanket fort or under fairy lights. Use lyrics on screen like Tell Me, Darling, Can I See You Tonight? Here are the hashtags, and the winner gets featured in an official fan version video or merch pack. Provide a simple chord sheet and instrumental in the bio. So this just gives you 5 high level quick ideas, especially if you're just trying to come up with ideas, see what to come up with, and then you could take these and make them your own. So that's how we could take now your lyrics, your music, turn that into a series of ideas. Now in Alphana, you could always create a new card and expand on some of these ideas, right? So let's just go ahead and make one custom card here. Stars Collide Challenge. I like this idea. I'm going to go ahead and copy that idea right there. And what I'm going to do is add another card. Okay. I could just click on the plus sign right below it. And what we do is we have an entire card library, right? So you don't have to just use the content we created on the page. You actually have an entire library of over 120 different types of content pieces that you could use to generate more content from. But what I'm going to do is create my own. Okay. So I'm going to select the create your own card. Now the create your own card, this one specifically is just to create text content. If you want to create your own image card so it could generate images, covers, carousels, ads, you're going to use the AI images card. So for now, let's go with this. And so what am I going to say? Please elaborate on this campaign for my music based on my lyrics. I want a full plan of how to execute this campaign and what to track, and elaborate on the idea to make it really easy for me to run this campaign. All right, so that's my prompt, and I'm going to go ahead and paste the campaign that I chose from the campaigns earlier. I'm asking to elaborate. I put my custom prompt, and now I'm going to click generate. So it's as simple as that to be able to create your own card that you can drop onto a project. And when you add that to the project, it has the context of my lyrics, or if you uploaded the blog post or a video, it has all of that context already. It already understands it. And after it analyzes it, it will generate content based on that campaign. And here we go. So campaign 1, Stars Collide Night Challenge, full easy to run plan. And here it is, right? And let's see what it did. So it came up with the high level, primary hashtags, platforms. It gave a quick summary. It generated a timeline. It put together a checklist of everything that you would need. How fans join. So you could put your caption in kickoff video. Your launch content. This is all copy and paste, right? So here it is, kickoff script. Boom. Hey, it's John. Film your night sky for 10 to 15 seconds. Use my sound. Drop the Where's the Collide. Boom. Okay, so it puts that together. Then it gives you a daily posting plan. Look at that. Creator seating. Super simple, right? So it explains how to do this. Contest details, track what matters, make it easy for fans. Oh, so these are templates, so you can give fans like templates that make it easy for them. Like, all right, here's a couple on-screen text templates that they can use. These are a couple shot ideas for their video. Perfect. You got posting prompts so you never get stuck. Community moves. Prize delivery plan. I mean, look at this. It keeps going, right? A simple editing flow, ability, right? Always add captions with the hook lyrics, high contrast sticker and text, right? Gives you a launch day checklist. What good looks like. Oh, this is great. It gives you stats, right? You like, for example, with artists, you want to get sound uses. You want people to actually use your sound on TikTok or Instagram into their content. And so if you can get them to use it at least 50 times in that week, that's great, or 150 times or 300 times. And so these gives you benchmarks for you to target, gives you variations to keep it fresh. Okay, the end game, it explains that to you. So in every caption, hear the full song at the link in bio, 1-page rules that you could paste anywhere. I mean, look at this, a full-fledged out campaign just from that one idea that was driven from the original piece, all right here. So I'm going to rename this to full campaign plan. Perfect. And now that I rename it, I've got this card. So that's essentially one, how you could create a custom card. And what's great is I've got this template. If I like this and I want to do this for another song, I could actually save this entire workflow as a template, right? And so I can call this Sebastian's music template, whatever it is. And this is great. So once you customize all of your cards, your content, anything that you had for one song or for one video, you can now save that as a template so that when you go back to the create flow, like what I showed you earlier, you'll go to my templates, and instead of selecting the one that we created called the music release template, you could create yours. And so in my case, I named it Sebastian's music template. So now I could reuse this one because it now has the extra tweaks that I made to my cards. It has the new card that I created right here, which was a full campaign plan, right? You see that right there. And so now I could take advantage of this with my customizations. All right, so we only got a couple more that I want to showcase here. So we just generated all this content from threads to images to captions, storyboards, beautiful. Now what do we got? We've got a press release. Okay, look, You come up with a song, you're putting it out there, you might as well get a press release out so that more people can be exposed to it. In this case, we automatically draft a press release for you, tying in concepts from the music. Now, the only difference that I would recommend to everybody is that when you initially create a project, try to drop like a short bio of yourself so that it has more insight to who you are on top of the lyrics. So you could say, okay, here's my bio, and then here are my lyrics, and drop that into Alphana, and it'll make the press release even better. But look at this, right? Here's how it goes. It's like, John releases new single, Can I See You? Right? It's a heartfelt pop ballad for late night dreamers. John is back with a brand new song, Can I See You? A warm and emotional pop ballad that feels like a slow dance under the stars. It's simple, tender, and easy to sing along to. Perfect for anyone who loves songs. And then it goes deeper into it, right? What the song feels like, why you'll love it, the release details, a little bit about John. Listen now. Again, if it had more information about John, if I would have threw in a demo about this person, then it would have had even more context onto it. Here's a press release you could use. Now, what's great is that this press release is a feature inside of Alphana. So if I come in to add a card and I type, things like press release, we already have a press release in here. And you could use this for any product that you're adding in here. It could be, if you're launching a new product and you put that product launch video in here or anything like that, it'll write a press release for that too. When you click on create, are you seeing all of these project templates? And by the way, for anybody, if you're on a free trial, okay, the free trial, you do not get access to all of these templates, right? The free trial will limit you just to 3 or 4 that are at the top, and the rest of these might look empty. But once you upgrade, if you're not on an upgrade or a paid plan, that's where you get access to now all of the other templates inside of the library. So I just want to make sure, I don't know if you're not seeing it, if you're still on trial or if you have a paid account. But if you have a paid account, here it is, right? And actually, I'm going to release a newer version of this today. We added 1 or 2 tweaks to it. But right now, the current version right here says Music Release Toolkit. You can also come up here and just type Music Release, and it should search and filter to show you that template here as well. So that's how you find the Music Release Toolkit. But again, anybody on a trial, just make sure, if you don't see all the projects and all the templates, it's because you're on a trial. You'll only see a couple at the top. Once you sign up to Alphana with a paid account, you'll get access to the rest of the library. Not only templates, but you'll also get access to all the cards. So if I click on cards, these are individual pieces of content that you can pick to choose in Alphana. You don't have to create a bundle of templates at once. You could just pick one at a time, and you'll see in here we have hundreds. So you'll have plenty to choose from when creating content inside of Alphana. So I'm gonna create that, go down here. All right. So here they are. So I just have this one. It's called Create Your Own, and I'm going to go ahead and rename it. So let's say you click the 3-dot menu on the individual card, and on the card, you can scroll down and you'll see rename card title. And when I come in here to rename it, I'm just going to say 10 clickbait titles. So there, I'm just going to do that, click rename. And this is what it came up with, right? Bold hook, Can I See You Tonight, the moonlit line that gives me chills, stop scrolling when the stars collide, this love song hits different. And then wait, what? A heartbeat closer and I'm down on my knees. Perfect. So that's how you rename a card. That's how I generated this one. All right, so here we go. We just added 10 clickbait titles. Now I've only got like 2 or 3 more to show you. So let's see what type of content we created. In here, we did a 5-day new release email. Okay. So if you're ever going to promote your music or promote your brand, 1 email is not enough. And so what we did here is we generated a 5-day email series campaign. Now, you could do these 5 days in a row or space them out over the course of 2 weeks, but you'll see here that it comes up with everything with the subject line, even with the personalization parameters that you can use in most email systems. Sometimes you might need to tweak this, right? Maybe it's a little bit different depending on the email client, but these are the placeholders that you would replace so that you could drop in like their first name or anything else that's personalized. And you can see here, it's like, hey, ever feel drained after a busy day? Like you just want a quiet moment to breathe? I get it. Nights can feel heavy, your mind keeps spinning, and the silence isn't helping. That's why I made Can I See You? It's a soft, starry escape. Think moonlit vibes and slow heartbeats. And it goes into it, what you feel after the benefits. Do you want to call them tonight? Hit play. So with a call to action to get people to save it to their playlist, press play on Spotify or any of these different platforms. And it does multiple emails. So here's part 2. It keeps going. It gives you day 3, right? The 3rd email that you can send out, the 4th, and the 5th. So what's great is you just drop these into whatever email provider you have, automatically schedule them, and let the emails go out. And of course, drop a link to where you want people to access your music, right? So if it's on Spotify, that's your preference, go ahead and put that. If you have a link in bio, you could do that as well. Drop a link. Just always make sure you put links in your email to where you want people to go to, right? Let them take that call to action. The other one we do is a DSP playlist pitch email. I know I mentioned it earlier, but these are with, like, if you're trying to pitch to get on a Spotify playlist or any of the other playlisting services, or a person who owns that playlist, you've got a email series that you could send here. And this is written a little bit differently because you're not asking them to play for them to listen to your music. You're trying to promote to them more about your song and why it benefits them, right? Why it would be beneficial for them to feature this music, because it'll help their playlist. It'll get them more saves, more replays, all of that. So it's a different mindset of how the the pitch email is for a provider like Spotify or a person who owns a playlist versus the fan who's going to listen to your music. Last but not least, what we drop into this music release toolkit are thumbnail hook ideas, okay? The thumbnail hooks are the text that appears on top of the thumbnail of, let's say, a YouTube video or an Instagram Reels video, right? You can always put a thumbnail image. And so we generally like to keep them short, 3 to 4 words. And it's very short, like, can I see you, stars collide tonight, just us two, underneath the heavens, anything that's relevant to the music, but also that could draw as a hook. And so this is great because they work for interviews, they work for your music, they work for podcasts, anything like that. We want to give you a couple ideas to make it much easier for you to generate some of these images. So this is the music release toolkit. It's got a wealth of content. You don't have to create them all at the same time. Each one of these are individual content cards inside of Alphana that you could generate, so you can use them at any time that you need them. But I thought this would give you a really good overview of what you could do for music, right? All inside of Alphana, from generating cover arts to brand release boards to storyboards for your music. And hopefully this helps you to draw inspiration for other pieces of content that you want to create. So in this example, right now, this comes as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to click edit, and you're going to see in here, why did it create 5? If you ever see a piece of content and you're like, why did it do this? Is it written this way? Why is there an emoji? Why do these images look that way? Okay. All you have to do is click edit, and we give it to you. We review the prompt. This is like the source code for you, okay, of why these things are happening, and you could tweak it. So in here we say generate 5 TikTok captions, and I'm going to go ahead and say create 30, right? Because I want 30, and you'll see that I want them to be 12 words or less, scroll stopping, and feel native to the platform. This is super important, okay? That's why we write specifically this is for TikTok and it's native to the platform. And of course, I give some other instructions just of how I want the content, and I'm going to go ahead and hit generate. Perfect. So now, instead of generating 5 TikTok caption ideas, it's going to generate for me 30. And so not everything gives you 30 out of the box. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on the type of content you're creating, but that's all customizable. And here we go. Now I have 30 individual caption ideas that I can use for TikTok. See that? So I got TikTok caption. Hopefully that helps. The one that I would have probably changed were these marketing ideas, because I don't like how it was formatted. So I would say something like include a title and a 3 to 5 sentence description of what the campaign idea is, and 3 high-level bullet points per campaign. Yeah, I think that's it, right? Do not bullet point the title or the main campaign idea. Use line breaks in between each idea. This is just me customizing the prompt and the formatting. So if you don't like the way it formatted the content for you, it's not coming out in the way, like the last version just did straight bullet points. For me, I wasn't a fan of how it was. I want it to be written a little bit differently. This is a little bit more of what I was expecting, right? A little bit easier organized. And so this is just something that I'll probably tweak in the prompt so that it could generate like this going forward. And look at that now, right? So here's what it did. It came up with the idea, Stars Collide Night Challenge. Turned a hook into a nightly TikTok Reels challenge. Fans record a short clip under the night sky and time a move to the beat drop. Use the line, "Can I see you tonight?" as the on-screen text to tie it all together. Simple, dreamy, and shareable. And then it gives me 3 bullet points, right? Which is what I asked for. Weekly theme, city lights, backyard beach, rooftop, template sound plus caption starter, prize, shout outs, and night pack, poster, and sticker. So now my ideas are a little bit better organized in the way that I wanted it at this time, right? And of course they can be improved, but if you want to see these ideas expanded in a different way, obviously you could come in here now and just click edit just like I did and customize the prompt to make sure that it comes out the way that you want it. So that's how we could customize prompts. You can customize formatting. And again, now that I have this, right, I know I had my template. I could just go ahead and save this again, right? New music release template, right? And click save. So now the next time I add another song or another video, I don't have to worry that my format's going to look a little bit different because now it's going to use the updated formatting that I added. This works if you're primarily do stuff on Instagram or TikTok or any one of these. A lot of these campaigns will work or cards will work for them. But we also have Instagram specific cards. So if I just come in here to add a card and I type the word Instagram, we have a lot of things that are very specific to Instagram too. So, you know, you could use a couple of those as well. From like Instagram Reels hooks, Instagram thumbnails, carousel images in a Studio Ghibli style, come up with hooks, captions. But again, a lot of these you can use for Instagram as well if you just tweak the prompt or just give it a shot and see the results. You'll see what works. Not only that, but if you're looking at creating content just for Instagram, if you go to our templates and you type Instagram, yes, we create Instagram content in some of these, but we have an entire workflow called Instagram Content Workflow. And that'll generate things from like Instagram threads, Instagram captions, hashtags, carousels. So this one's a very Instagram focused project template in case you wanted to use it. But again, because this works with multiple use cases, there's a lot of content in here that could be used cross-platform. All right, so that's pretty much what I have for you today. What do you guys think? Was this helpful? Was this useful? Do you see yourselves using this on a day-to-day? Or if you're not in music, did this give you ideas that were outside of music? I'd love to hear all about it. Please go ahead and like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right. And just make sure you turn on that notification bell. It helps us so much, and the YouTube algorithm really loves it. And it helps make sure that our content reaches more people. I love helping to teach you how to create content with AI, do different AI workflows, help you to just automate a lot of your process, and hopefully draw and come up with more ideas and more inspiration. Anything that we can do there, I would love to do it. Go ahead and drop it into the chat, like our channel, this video, and subscribe. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Sebastian Mora. I am the CEO and co-founder of Alphana. Anything you need, I'd love to help. Please always reach out if you need anything at all. Again, like I said, subscribe to our channel, hit like, drop a comment. I love you all. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next time.